2 and 1. Wait for it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the BoBCast Podcast, Episode 4. This week we have a kind of a special recap of the Gamescom event. We have the press events, Microsoft and Sony and EA, all of which took place over the last few days. We'll be covering some of the highlights from that over the course of this podcast. We're also going to be touching on some of the latest technology news, including Razer's new keyboard, which is going to be the competitor to the Corsair K70 RGB. We also have AMD entering the solid-state market, and also DirectX 12 has entered the market, and his benchmarks are proving pretty good. I just dropped my phone on the floor. All of this and more on the 4th BoBCast Podcast. Hello, everybody, again. Welcome. Gamescom is come and gone, and that was actually a first intro I didn't fuck up. I'm so proud of myself right now.
It only took us 4 episodes.
It only took us to the 4th one to do it well. But again, welcome to Gamescom. A lot of weird things that have kind of happened amongst the events. So first of all, kind of just an impression. Tom and Sean and I, we watched most of the press event. Sean missed the EA one, but
all of them.
Tom and I were in there for the long haul, including the really early 7 a.m. one of Microsoft 2 days ago, because that'd be it was yesterday. I guess it was yesterday.
Yeah, they all just kind of blurred together.
Got it. All the days just kind of, it's been just a mess.
I've been sleeping and wake, and I'm all off.
So after seeing the press event, Tom, which one do you think stood out amongst all of them, would you say, so far?
Still Sony for me.
Yeah.
They're the most games that I thought at least looked interesting.
They're the most games, but yeah. You know, we talked about this a little bit. Like, they had their press conferences basically just like, here's a trailer. Like, here's another trailer. Like they had.
Or sometimes they'd be like, here's a trailer, and then just suddenly you're in another trailer, and you're like, oh, it's a different game. It's just
And like, then again, Microsoft talked a little bit more, but like they also they talked more, but I still had no idea what they were doing, even though they explained it, which we could get into more detail about.
Yeah, I mean, Xbox's was just a lot of. It was a lot closer. Their stage was like right up with the crowd, and they seemed it was a lot more like informal. It was really intimate with the crowd, and they were like, here's our product. This is why we're developing it. This is why Xbox is our platform. Blah blah blah. Well, PlayStation, like you said, was just kind of like trailer.
Here's some games. But
then CEO.
That's all we really want. So.
And then social media integration, was it like the media like social platform 2.0 or whatever that was? Like, okay.
System software, dude.
System software, whatever. It was super neato for Sony. But the biggest thing that everyone kind of complained about was Microsoft was really hyping up their event. They claimed that there was going to be a big surprise or special surprise, and there really wasn't anything. The only thing that people probably thought of was like the new Tomb Raider game, which everyone thought was going to be an exclusive on Xbox One, because that's the way they kind of made it seem. It's actually just a timed exclusive, like many people figured it would be. So this kind of all started coming up just this morning. Microsoft, basically in an interview with the Eurogamer, it's not actually an exclusive, it's a timed exclusive. The quote from Phil Spencer of Microsoft: "Yes, the deal has a duration. I didn't buy it. I don't own the franchise. I have Tomb Raider shipping next holiday season on Xbox. It's on Xbox 360 and Xbox One. I'm not trying to fake anybody in terms of where this thing is. What they do with the franchise in the long run is not mine. I do not control it." So they were basically very vague during their press event multiple times.
The press conference was extremely like, this is a timed first exclusive to console. And I was like, so it's not really anything.
Because like a lot of their...
like a week before PlayStation, and it's coming to PC anyway. So.
Because a lot of their things were like exclusive on console. Yes, it's only on that console, but it's been on PC for like 3 years. Like, Evolve was one of those things that was...
PlayStation, Microsoft a little bit too, they had a lot of indie stuff that was coming off PC.
Yeah, I think they're really trying to go for the indie.
Both of them pushed Minecraft, like, kind of weirdly hard. I guess more than Zero was...
Yeah. I mean, it's still... I mean, it's like the... I think it still is like one of the most played games on Xbox Live. Like, it's been kind of in that market with like that and FIFA have been fighting back and forth for like the top spot for a very long time.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's been It was interesting, though. But, I mean, this is good news for people on PlayStation and I guess not PC. Because I don't think it's coming to PC, actually.
I feel like it has to be coming to PC. I mean, the first one came to PC, and it was well received, so it would just be kind of goofy to not.
Yeah, I would imagine it would, actually, yeah. I just don't know if that's actually been confirmed anywhere. Other platforms.
I'm just speculating.
I mean, all we know for sure is Xbox 360 and Xbox One holiday of 2015, which is still a full year from now. So we have a lot of things in the back burner for that, too. I think it's kind of pushed that off to nothing for now. But the other big things that maybe they're trying to say this is also our big exciting thing was all their different bundles, because they're still trying to sell their console that's been failing pretty hardcore.
Yeah. Sony announced that they hit the 10 million mark.
Yeah, and everyone's like, yeah.
Definitely a big, like...
And I think Xbox has... I'm trying to remember if Xbox even hit 4 yet. I feel like they've had to have at this point.
They're definitely less than half.
I know they're in that much, because they're being outsold 3-1 right now. Is the current stat from the V charts was a 3-1 outselling.
Yeah.
But one of the it actually looks really cool. One of the bundles was the Sunset Overdrive. I cannot every time I see the game I give it like a different name, I swear. But it's the all white console, the white controller. It looks really clean. It looks really nice. So that's coming out soon. That's pretty cool, and obviously that comes with the game bundled in. It's a digital copy, and this will be $400. That's pretty cool. Again, honestly, the controller, if they sell the controller by itself, I might pick up the controller just for my
white controller
for my computer. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a gamepad, and I mean, you can use Xbox One controllers, plug and play right in the PC. But yeah, I mean, as we've discussed last week, Mark, Tom, Sean, and Kevin. Actually, Kevin, you didn't give your input. Because actually, you might be the only one that would consider getting an Xbox One. Do you have any interest in getting an Xbox One at this point? Or in the near future?
When it was new and shiny, I was tempted, but that's certainly waned. Zero interest right now.
Is it the lack of games, or what's holding you back?
It's the lack of NCAA 15 and how bad Madden was.
Okay.
If Madden was like, if they knocked it out of the park, I would have considered buying Xbox One like secondhand or something just so I could keep playing Madden next gen. Mm-hmm. But that's dead to me now.
Because I guess, I mean, if FIFA does come to PC, I mean, pick up a game like an Xbox One controller, you can play it on your PC. So in full resolution in 60 FPS. So yeah. The other bundle they announced for the United States is the Call of Duty bundle. This one actually is kind of something. Are improving. It has a 1 terabyte hard drive, something that probably should have come with the consoles anyway. But it is a 1 terabyte hard drive coming with the Call of Duty bundle, and obviously you get the game, you get the controller, the fancy controller. The console looks really cool. The Xbox One console does look really cool, but it's $500. So it's substantially higher price amount. It's another $100 than the current Xbox One and other Xbox One bundles out there. But you do get exclusive sound effects with this console in Call of Duty. So if that's your thing, here you go.
Unless it comes with the smoke weed pack or whatever, the voice pack with Snoop Dogg and like the weed gun skins, I'm not buying it. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah. Again, another bundle. They're really trying to push these bundles and trying to sell consoles, but
yeah, I think they just need something that like adds value to their console so that more people will buy it.
If only they had like a long-standing franchise that was releasing some sort of collector's package that they could bundle.
That they could include with.
Biggest gripe that it's so stupid.
Yeah, no, Nick,
why?
It's clearly really affected you.
It's affected me because it's
right in the heart.
It's so stupid. You could be making so much money if you just sell a console, a special Xbox One console with the Halo game included, with like a special like skin on it. Mark it up at another like $50, and you know millions, not millions obviously, but hundreds of people would buy that. Hundreds of thousands of people. Like,
I love Halo.
If I was interested in Xbox One, I would get that, but I'm not interested in Xbox One.
Well, would that make you interested in Xbox One, Nick?
If it was $200, included the Master Chief Collection, that would be what it would have to be. If it had to be half the price.
And they also
that they're
gave you a statuette and then paid you $100 coupon as well.
Bill Gates comes to hang out at your house for half hour.
Play a few Slayer rounds with you.
If I just get Steve Downs to come on, Voice Master Chief, if you don't already know, Steve Downs to come play with me for like an hour. He's in Chicago, so
he probably sucks.
I mean, he's from Chicago, so I mean, it wouldn't be too hard to.
So he must be good.
Yeah, that's not my point. I don't know.
I would rather have him just narrate my entire game.
Yeah, right.
Or just my entire day. Just my entire day.
Better yet would be the metals guy. Oh, I forget his name. Oh, that's gonna drive. I should know his name too. The guy that does all the medals, like double kill, triple
that
kill.
guy would be way better.
He does some things. Like he has like a few YouTube videos on there, like of like his family uploading him like saying things. It's just
it's like you suck. That guy.
Yeah,
totally got you
suck. That was one of them. They removed that one. That was going to be in Battlefield or Halo Reach, I think, but they took that out because apparently it's too offensive, or whatever.
Too edgy.
A rated mature game.
Yeah. For as much as like that game is rated M, it really probably shouldn't be rated.
There's just there's like not even blood really.
I know, yeah. Compared to modern standards, it's not. Like,
yeah. I mean,
but whatever.
What's the latest game, like the last Halo game you've even played, Mark? I'm just curious.
Reach.
I
played Reach for a little while.
Yeah, we had a few LAN parties with Reach back in the day.
Oh yeah, we were talking about those. Those were
really fun.
Great.
Dude, I
still have that borrowed Reach disc that never giving back.
Well, remember I made the special cake for the Reach one. It had like the Halo logo on there and everything. That was awesome. I went all out for that.
I had the legendary edition of Halo 3 with the Master Chief helmet.
Nice. Okay.
That was amazing. I tried to make the helmet wearable, and then I broke the helmet. So. What can you do?
Wasn't it like 1/20th scale? Like it wasn't.
Yeah, it was pretty small.
It was like 1/4 though, right?
It would have fit a child for sure.
Okay.
I mean, I bought
not you.
The Legendary Edition for Halo Reach. You got this awesome. Like, this was something I actually cared about. It was kind of cool. A giant statue, which actually
you had that like on
kind of
display.
meaty. Yeah, I mean it's cool looking. It's not assembled too well. The guns just kind of fall out of their hands really easily, but it's alright. I don't know. I think that was like $150 though. It was ridiculously expensive. But I mean, you got the fancy like packaging and all that kind of stuff, so it's kind of cool. But otherwise, other things in Gamescom, the EA event, they debuted Battlefield Hardline, the campaign. I know, Tom, you care about the campaign very much. The lore.
Campaign, I play for the lore.
And so they released their video. I don't know, I think it's the dumbest campaign stuff. I've said it during the stream.
You were just like really like upset by it.
It's just so stupid.
It's not that bad. Okay, no, you were like, this is literally the worst thing I've ever fucking seen in my life. It's
okay,
like,
if anyone else...
It's not that bad. It's stupid, granted, but it's not like... First of all, it's a modern shooter, which we went over. Like, you can't expect anything more than just point-and-click stupidity at that point. Like, you're not going to get an Oscar-winning performance out of these characters.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, has anyone else seen the 12 minutes of single-player video that they released?
No.
Okay. Because... Like, one of the first things is, like, they get, like, locked in a jail cell, and he's given, like, a lockpick to, like
he snuck it in?
They snuck it in.
Him,
yeah, the girl gave him to him, the whole, like, love relationship thing going on naturally.
Dude, it's going to be really serious, I bet.
And so she gives him that, so they manage to somehow break out of the jail cell with just one piece of metal, just jamming it in the lockport.
That's how it works, man.
But they don't, like, try and remove the handcuffs that they're wearing, which probably would have been really easy to do with this.
No, way easier to pick a lock. No, actually, Sean would like this because he's taken some math courses. The whole reason they were meeting this guy was so that he had like a combination lock brute forcing machine, and I was like, even if you mechanized it, it would still take like fucking forever to brute force a combination lock. That's brute the point.
Like one that's got like 30 combinations.
Well, all right. I mean, I guess if it's like one thing.
That's what I thought you were going. Like, or you mean like a safe combination lock?
Yeah, like I assume all they said in the dialogue was like, "Oh, do you have like the combination lock brute forcing machine?" And I'm like, that. The point is to avoid brute forcing. Like that's why you drill locks, so you don't just sit there like, "Oh, I'm gonna turn this."
Yeah, there's so many reasons why.
Yeah, it was so goofy.
If I had all day, I couldn't tell you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Well, so I figured you would appreciate that. But see, here's the thing, like. If I went to, cable TV right now, I could watch any number of cop shows where they do the same shit, which is why I don't think it's that dumb. Like, they said that they want to make this like a TV cop show and like do it in episodic installments.
Which I approve. I approve them trying to do something different. I like that. I like their approach.
Have to take like domestic violence calls. You have to like calm down. Like,
I don't know about that.
He's always drunk.
Why do franchises like Battlefield even put in single player?
At this point, I don't know.
I mean,
there are still some like hard-line people who say that like games should not come out without.
Okay,
it's the name of the game.
At this point, what percentage do you think just plays multiplayer? Like, above 50, right?
I didn't play the Battlefield 3 campaign.
I mean, as much as I wanted to try it,
the 4 campaign was because you get guns for multiplayer, so that's why I played it.
Yeah, basically, yes.
But then along with the campaign, they also did show off some of the new multiplayer stuff, which were, as long as we're talking about it, both of which I was interested in. They had like the heist mode, or not the heist, but the
hostage rescue.
Yeah. So it's 5v5, 5 police, 5
the really
thieves, whatever you want to call them.
That's they're called.
Shut up!
They said they were shooting for like the competitive scene here.
I mean, that's what it is.
I don't know that there's necessarily a market there, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, they tried doing it with the new Rainbow Six that's coming out too. They did very similar. They announced that the whole like competitive 5v5 show, but that did like a full like almost like not shoutcasting, but it was like a live comm. As like
it was like a lot, yeah.
And
you were supposedly hearing them doing in-game chat, which totally sounded not scripted and real.
No, that was totally 100% real.
Yeah, obviously.
So as like Battlefield multiplayer proof that we usually play Comcast or oh my god, I can't say a word.
Comcast.
Well, that's the end of the podcast.
See
you next week.
I'm sorry, Comcast has been on my mind. I hate them so much, but I mean we play like Conquest. Like I mean, are these other game modes? Like there's this one which is like the 5v5 trying to rescue the hostage, and the other one was like basically like a police chase mode, which is kind of cool. I mean, is that something that interests you, like Mark? I mean, I know you obviously play a lot of multiplayer. Like, would you be interested in these special type of game types, or are you more just geared towards the shooter and like small objective?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like normal stuff like domination, conquest, team deathmatch, but
like anything that they could do to make it not a reskin of Battlefield 4.
Yeah, right.
It's probably a good idea.
As long as it's fun, I'll play it. I don't really care. I was just actually trying to think, though, like right now, why I don't really enjoy rush maps in Battlefield 4.
Rush was only good in Battlefield 2, Bad Company 2. That was the only time I really enjoyed it.
BC1, but
it was okay in
Bad Company in general.
I not like it in BF4 at all.
Yeah,
I think it's just the player base just sucks.
I think it's like if you really do need a fully like coherent team, and you just don't get that.
Like one time we played, that's like a week ago, and like everyone's like in like the chat, like texting each other, like like oh use flashbangs here, like you smoke, like it was like really coordinated, and we kicked ass for like 4 or 5 rounds.
Surprisingly, teamwork does work.
And then the team just left, and like half the team
everyone
left,
raged.
and then we just sucked again. Then we're like, fuck this, go back to Conquest. So, I don't know. I'm kind of excited for it. Hardline. I know, like we all agreed we never pay $60 for it, probably.
No,
I would imagine.
Nope,
not at all.
No way.
What would be the price for you, Mark, for this?
Maybe 30.
Tom,
like 20.
20.
20.
Dude, it's an expansion pack. It's like Battlefield Vietnam. Like,
See,
that was an expansion to Bad Company 2. I'm pretty sure that was 20.
I mean, it's an expansion, but you get so many new maps and game modes. It'd be different if it was just like a new multiplayer. But I mean, you get all of this new stuff too. Plus, you get the campaign.
Nah.
I mean, I know you care about that.
Nah.
That one is worth $50.
I mean, Sean, would you be interested in picking apart?
I don't own BF4.
Okay.
I don't own BF4. I actually haven't owned a Battlefield now.
So you haven't. I forgot.
Yeah, but like, do you have any interest in getting into the series?
I've always wanted to get into it. I just really got out of like FPSs for like.
I mean, why aren't you downloading? Did you get BF4 yet? Because I have it for free right now. If you get it for free, you're going to Chile, so it doesn't matter anyway. But if you get it
for free now,
I mean, if you get it for free, you're allowed to play it for 168 hours whenever you want, and so it's like from when you hit play till that's the time.
I can get it free like whenever.
You have to get it, I think, before tomorrow. So try that now. Try and get that now.
You should add it to your library, and then we'll just stop playing eventually.
On the Steams or on the Origin? Does it get Origin now?
Yeah.
Sean, be careful.
Welcome to Origin.
Because you're going to get it, and then we'll stop playing.
And then we're all just going to leave. We'll find another game to play.
What have we ever done that to a game?
If it's free,
should have bought it earlier. Huh?
But don't spend money on it. I learned my lesson the hard way.
What did we screw you out of, Kevin?
Get free.
Battlefield 3, dude.
You took too long to buy it.
Oh, yeah. I remember that now. Oh, well.
Real nice, man.
Well, that was like when you first got your computer. So, that was like all there was available.
There's plenty of games available. Whatever.
Well, the problem was that happened during the Steam sale. And then we got a bunch of things during the Steam sale. And then, yeah. That was, I think, the downfall. But, anyway, Sean, I don't know, price, I mean, obviously you don't really have much of an effort in that. Kevin, you played Battlefield 4, right? You played with us.
No, I didn't buy it.
You've never bought it with us?
That's the point, dude. That we
don't have it.
Well, you're going to get Hardline when we all get it on sale at some point.
Probably not.
Anyway, another...
Why would you not?
Oh, I don't know.
It's not like we're going to stop playing it right after we buy it.
Right.
I don't think.
I've been scarred.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
so back on topic.
I say another Gamescom news. Metal Gear Solid, the new one has been. They showed off the new trailer at the PlayStation event and just showing how the ridiculousness of it with the stealth cardboard box mode. And
yeah, they were just like showing off the game features of the cardboard box.
It was
I laughed my ass off.
Yeah, I was like, I ranked this as one of my favorite trailers just because it's so funny. Just watching everything he did during this, it was just the funniest thing. And the big announcement earlier today was the fact that it's actually is coming to PC. So Metal Gear Solid 5 and I forget the other one. I have the article. I'll bring that up in a minute. Yeah, Phantom Pain. That one. Those both are coming to PC via Steam. So you don't have to get any like stupid Konami special distributors. So that's kind of neato. And here's the article from Polygon. They are coming to Steam, which is neat. And they kind of did it in a really cool fashion. They released a press release, but one of the ways they did it was in that video, he was wearing the box, and at one point he puts the box on, and it's a Steam box, and it's like the Steam logo on it, and everyone goes nuts.
And a little valve on the side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. I've never played Metal Gear Solid. Maybe I will now that it's on PC.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
I mean, I think Tom, you're the only one that had a PlayStation of any sort.
Kevin did, didn't you?
No.
No?
So, I mean, you've
Isn't
never...
there one sitting in your apartment right now?
Is there?
There's no PlayStation. You guys don't have a PlayStation?
Oh, yeah, I have a PlayStation.
Yeah, so you have...
What the hell are you talking about?
Dude?
I thought you asked me if I played Metal Gear Solid.
No.
Okay.
I was saying, no, I never played... The thing is, the same reason I'm not going to get these on PC. I mean, it's great for the franchise, I'm sure, but, like, I've never played them in the past, so...
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really invested in the whole mythos. But
I want to try.
You know,
well, that's why, like, I'm always interested in a good stealth game because it's something that very rarely gets done right, and I think the Metal Gear Solid has a lot of following. So,
well, I don't know. I feel also, at least my understanding of the Metal Gear series is that it's kind of like become its own like beast, where it's sort of like they have 60-minute cutscenes and they just go on these long like political tangents, and you're like, what the hell are you trying to tell me, Hideo Kojima?
I mean, I guess if I were to get it, I'd probably watch a lot of like the trailers online, or like not trailers, but a lot of the
like summaries or something,
like screen
cutscenes.
Cutscene. That's
sometimes.
Yeah. Cutscene. I'll basically just video of all the cutscenes. Just
I tried to
together.
once, but you know how most games have like Half-Life in 60 seconds. I tried to for Metal Gear, but it was like Metal Gear in 7 hours.
Oh my god.
No, actually, I was trying to be sarcastic there, but holy shit, I was just thinking back to high school. Someone told me, like, yeah, you should totally get Metal Gear 4, because, I was one person that had the PS3, and so, like, he's like, yeah, you just watch this video, and he sent me this link for YouTube, and it literally was 3 hours, and it just summarized everything up to that point, and I was like, I don't have a movie's length to get into a video game. Like, I just don't care.
I mean,
so, wow. That is the thing, actually, now that I think about it.
Wow. And Mark, have you ever played any Metal Gear?
I have not.
Yeah. So none of us have, but as we said, it's good for the franchise, good it's expanding its roots, trying to get all the people, and it's another game coming to PC. So.
Yeah, more games on PC, the better.
Indeed.
What's interesting, though, is that we just described, like, two extremes, like, Hardline's campaigns too simplistic, and that's why we don't want to play it. I guess it's a little different, because Metal Gear Solid's out already, but it's, like, too complex, and that's why we don't want to get into it now. So that's pretty interesting. I mean, I guess you gotta find a happy medium if you're creating games these days.
Well, yeah, definitely is, because, like, Battlefield, like, modern FPS stories are, like, 4 hours long, if that.
Right.
When, like, this game will have its own 40-hour story and 160 hours of story for previous games. So I don't know if it's that crazy, but that definitely is a funny point that we're just looking for shit to bitch about, basically.
Yeah.
What we're down to.
I mean, I wasn't complaining about the stupidity of the story of Hardline. It's just, like, the little details about it. No, it's the lockpick, having a lockpick but not getting rid of your handcuffs.
You're really stuck up on this lockpick. Dude, that's the only way that they could have done, like, the takedown where you strangle someone from behind. Obviously. Even though he just in, like, the next scene did a takedown where he just, like, karate chopped a guy in the back of the neck and put him out. Like, alright. Dude, like, I'm telling you, it's a modern shooter. You can't expect authenticity.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. It was a little too dumb for me. We'll see, though. I'm going to get it anyway. Everyone knows I'm going to get it, so. The other big game, not really big game, but just hilarious trailer, I think is my favorite, is the Scream Ride trailer. This is the Xbox 360 and Xbox One supposed exclusive at the moment anyway. Basically, it's Roller Coaster Tycoon. You build your own roller coasters. But it's the best part of Roller Coaster Tycoon, where you just kill everyone. And you just build death traps and let them just kind of fly into walls and fly into the air.
They knew the good part of Roller Coaster Tycoon.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the dev for this just got bored one day and was like, I'm going to make a whole game dedicated to me getting bored in this.
It was like pretty dark. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like watching it, like this part right now, like it's like making this curve like ridiculous
and like doing like roller coaster stuff, and then like people start dying, and then like, yeah, that was good. Let's do that again. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like the one in particular that I really like, what like really was like, oh my god, is the spinny one where they're on the balls and it spins around, and like they all just like break away and start shattering everywhere.
Yeah.
Like all the screams from the people are just like, oh my god.
It was pretty. It was out there, but
the measure of your success is screams.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just looks really fun. I'm not sure how much playtime you can get out of this after like a while of just building roller coasters and killing people, but after I don't know. It looked really, really funny and really dark, so I'm interested in it. And I would love for this to come out on Steam. That'd be really cool. And that's coming again to Xbox One, Xbox 360, spring of 2015. So yeah, like I said, they basically took the best part of Roller Coaster Tycoon and... anyway, the big thing with EA has always been sports. EA Sports has kind of been their big thing. And FIFA is no exception. So FIFA 15, they showed off like the new gameplay, including all the new advances to the goalies. Apparently they're like really, really intelligent goalies now. And they use like 3D motion capture of real goalies doing their thing, and it was like really advanced, really cool. I never got into FIFA. Kevin might be able to explain to us. I mean, was this something that needed to be done for the franchise?
Yeah, so I think that they needed to do it. They're doing exactly what Madden didn't do. Well, I shouldn't say that, but it's next gen FIFA for sure, and it's all about feeling the game, is what they're calling it. And I mean, the player AI is super smart. They remember what happened during the period of a game, and they'll have emotional reactions based off that. I guess there's like over 600 emotional reactions. So, you know, if a player has a dirty tackle against a guy and then it happens again, maybe they get in a shoving match, they understand if it's a big game, if it has high implications or not. And then, as you spoke, the goalies, they're able to do things as complex as like fast twitch movements, so like kicking their leg out at the last second to block a shot. Basically, everything's better and more authentic. If you're a huge Premier League fan, this game's definitely for you because everything is like certified authentic now. All the stadiums, they redid 200 player models so that they look like they're actual people. And then, you know, all your favorites like career mode and Ultimate Team are still there. So if you're a FIFA fan, you should definitely go out and pick up this game. I think you're going to see a lot more Americans buy this game too, especially because it's a World Cup year. That always helps.
Yeah.
And Tim Howard is one of the goalies they use 3D modeling on, so he's been like
Howard
a
was
big
like
proponent
everywhere.
for it.
I mean, Howard was everywhere in that video.
I actually really want it, but I have no way to play it, so that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Is FIFA 15, what is that even releasing on? I know obviously Xbox One, PS4, but is that coming to PC? That's fine.
I didn't see. It could be.
Let's see. Xbox One,
thing.
PS4, Xbox 360, and PS3, so it doesn't look like it's coming to PC.
Yeah, I didn't think it was PC.
It is releasing September 23rd,
Mm-hmm.
later this year, and you can pre-order it now. But don't pre-order it, because pre-orders are the worst.
Don't pre-order.
No pre-order ever.
It's like $70, I think, for the Ultimate Edition, and then your regular $60 for just the regular game.
Okay. Very cool. I can never get into sports games, really, on any platform, so that's something I've always kind of not been in. I know, Mark, you've at least ventured into the EA Sports market.
He's in the game, is what we're trying to say.
I am. I like that.
I was waiting for someone to make that pun.
FIFA is one of those games where like people who don't even really like soccer play FIFA and enjoy FIFA, and like it actually like works backwards. Like people enjoy. I know of people who like soccer because they play FIFA.
FIFA 15 is on PC. It's coming to through
Really?
It's coming through Origin.
Yes.
Origin. Wait, that's
So it's
surprising.
on PC in quotes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it now that you know it's on PC? Does this change your mindset?
Well, I said I wanted it. I still want it. I'll
Yeah,
probably
he's
get
still
it.
gonna. Now he's just gonna get it, so it works out.
So now that you know that you can get it, are you going to get it?
Shut up!
Will you buy two
I
copies?
think I might, Mark. I think I might get it.
You better
I
want
know I
PS3 too, just because.
I'm still logged into the Mexican Origin, so that's why the prices are so cheap. I was like, why is this so cheap?
What?
So wait, can you just buy all your games there?
Apparently. I mean, Battlefield 4 is 20 right now.
How have they not fixed that yet?
I don't even know. Oh, because
You're giving away all the secrets, man.
I still have the extension in, that's why. But you can get 15, it is on Origin. So, there you go. Are you going to get, if you get it on PC, are you going to get obviously you're probably going to get a controller.
Yeah, I'll use my PS3 controller.
Okay, so you can do that. Sweet. The miracles of PC gaming.
Wow, that's actually really exciting. I don't know how I missed that in my research that's coming out for PC, but
Good. Just
whatever.
typed
I'm
in, I
happy.
just saw the EA article. I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
All right, so that pretty much covers pretty much everything from Gamescom. There'll probably be more throughout the week. It is a pretty long convention, unlike E3, where it's just like 3 days. Gamescom lasts, I believe, almost like a week long. So we'll probably see more stuff coming out. We haven't seen anything come from Valve. I was expecting kind of some fancy stuff coming soon. I mean, the whole like the new engine that kind of was leaked, sort of, but not really. They had all but then the things inside of it that were leaked, like the Left 4 Dead 3, Half-Life 3, Counter-Strike, the new Counter-Strike game. All of that we were kind of hoping to get some mention of, or at least confirmation of, and nothing. So all they're basically doing is promoting their Steam controller. How unfortunate.
Have they changed it anything?
I haven't seen anything about it,
since
so
they last changed it anyway and took away the touchscreen.
as far as I know, there hasn't been any changes to it. So let me just look up real quick. Valve game.
Because I know like they took away the touchscreen, but it seems like they had pretty much nailed down how to at least roughly translate mouse controls to like a handheld device.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Obviously, the Steam box too. They're probably showing
website
off.
right now. They still have the touchscreen on there, I think.
Okay.
Everything I've seen says that those haptic feedback, like joystick things,
the disc
work
thing
really well. But like those they look weird. Like I just imagining like touching them and like they vibrate when I touch it. I'm like, ugh.
I mean, when I first saw the Steam controller, I thought it was like backwards. I was like, wait, why? Because it like goes inward, and I'm like, what? But it's pretty cool. I mean, I think conceptually it is very interesting.
But yeah,
and it seems like they have
definitely
pulled
a
it
better
off.
idea than the N64 controller.
Yeah, well, yes.
Not saying much.
if that's the yardstick by which you measure a good controller.
It just seems too strange to me with the dual trackpads and then just like the 4 buttons. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying though. Like, that's how you like. How else would you translate mouse controls to?
Yeah.
Besides just having a joystick. I mean, obviously a joystick, like, you could just do that, but that'll never be as precise.
Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what's wrong with analog sticks, personally. I guess you suppose they have, like, the higher precision or whatever.
Get out.
I'm just saying,
Just
compared to this just looks way too difficult.
Oh my god. Alright, so... Nick, how about this? How about every time we play, we're gonna play Battlefield tonight, alright? And you're gonna use your, you get like an Xbox controller, plug it in.
I'm not, okay, let me
use keyboard and mouse, and
I'm not
see how it goes.
I'm not saying that it's better, I'm not saying that analog sticks are better than keyboard and mouse. No. Keyboard and mouse is by far the best platform for everything ever, so.
Being white is clearly better.
I'm just saying...
Yeah, I know, Louis C.K. We'll see. I said, I'm still hoping Valve releases something cool here at Gamescom, but I don't think that's coming. But anyways, leaving from Gamescom, kind of entering the other just tech world, DirectX 12, new benchmarks have come out. DirectX is, I don't know how to describe it the best way. It basically...
Just the API for video games.
Yeah, it takes your computer and makes it run games well. And is it like that? Is it optim? Hold on, let me rephrase it.
Why don't you let Sean handle this one here?
I mean, doesn't it like take it and like optimize your hardware to?
It's the translator between the game and your hardware.
Yeah. So
on Windows. Yeah. The game designer takes DirectX, is like, hey DirectX, I want to put a pixel here. The DirectX is like, cool, but obviously more shit happens. And that's
more importantly, DirectX is like, cool, hey, NVIDIA card, why don't you put this pixel there? And it's like, okay, that's the point.
Yeah.
Is that really how computers work?
Yeah.
That's it. That's Alan Turing actually wrote all that stuff down.
Right there. John von Neumann was like, all right.
But basically,
you what? Yeah, basically, yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, the benchmarks that came out of it, basically a 50% improvement in frame rate, and it's also much more power efficient. And as they say, it's much more power efficient, which leads to a cooler device.
Wait, no, yeah, I like that sentence. I read it like 4 times. It said, it leads to a cooler device, which means it can run hotter.
Yeah, no, I read that, like, the first time I read it, I'm like,
wait.
I mean, like, that is true, but, like, I had to, like...
Definitely could have phrased it better.
Yeah.
Basically, you can just overclock it more. So it can run hotter.
Or just, put more performance through it.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, so that too, yeah. So that's pretty neato. I mean, that's pretty big. I mean, this is going to be the direct competitor with OpenGL. Obviously, DirectX is a Microsoft's only platform, so Windows platform, which is only, I believe, I think DirectX 12 is only going to be Windows 8, Windows 9, and beyond. I don't even know if it's on Windows 8.
Well, that's what DirectX 11.1 was, right? Wasn't that that was the whole point, was that, like, you had to get Windows 8 to get DirectX 11.1.
Mm-hmm.
So that seems to be their like MO at this point. They need to push copies of it.
So do like game designers have to like be backwards compatible with 7 then if they're using this kind of thing? Do they have to like?
Well, DirectX 9 is I think the current standard still.
Mm-hmm.
11 itself is pretty new. I don't really know of that many. That's not true. There are definitely plenty of games that use it, but DirectX 9, like your game is expected to basically meet those standards at least.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, but eventually, as newer games come out, the move will be towards DirectX 11 and beyond. So,
right. And DirectX 12 is only for NVIDIA. Actually, I mean, it supports a lot of NVIDIA card from 400 series and up, but it only supports 6000 series and up for AMD. And as we mentioned, limitations with the actual Windows platform. It's only Windows 8 and above. So. Windows 7 Master Race still running on my computer. Is anyone who has Windows 8 right now?
This guy.
Sean?
Is
that it?
Got it on 2 machines.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Living. Right.
Moving on to the new future standard for gaming, hopefully, at least for display. It is DisplayPort. So Tom, I'm going to let you handle this one because you know more about this than I do, for sure.
I mean, it's basic. If you don't know what DisplayPort is, it's kind of like HDMI, but mostly for computer graphics, graphics cards and computer monitors. Like HDMI, it's digital, so it's not. This is actually a good point to note. Like analog control, like analog connections, actually matters if it's like a quality cable, which most of these days you can get anywhere. But HDMI cables are digital, so like regardless of how shitty the actual wire is, it will still.
The ones and zeros
fine.
don't get scrambled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
wait, I need my gold-plated HDMI cable from Best Buy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. If you ever buy
$30.
any cable from Best Buy, you should kill yourself.
Pretty much that, yes. But anyway, yeah. So DisplayPort is just another standard. I think it has the point is that it's supposed to be more bandwidth than HDMI. So essentially, you can reach up to higher resolutions, which is why if you have a 4K monitor or you want to go 4K, you're probably going to need DisplayPort, especially if you want to do like more than one 4K monitor, which obviously the current hardware is a little behind on, but if that's the future, this is what you'll need. And most importantly, what's up?
Yeah, I think you're about to get to it.
Yeah, well, and so most importantly, what this article is talking about is the adaptive sync or whatever they call it.
Adaptive sync.
Yeah, so a little while ago, NVIDIA announced this thing called G-Sync, which basically they have this proprietary NVIDIA chip in your monitor, and then your graphics card, if it's an NVIDIA card, can communicate with it and adjust the refresh rate of the monitor along with how much FPS you're getting in a game. So essentially it reduces screen tearing or actually completely eliminates it, but it still makes the game look pretty smooth. And so the thing there is that it's proprietary to NVIDIA, of course, so DisplayPort Adaptive Sync is the same idea, it's just going to be an open standard though. So essentially any graphics card maker, be it AMD or NVIDIA, can implement the DisplayPort Adaptive Sync standard, and then as long as your monitor is compatible with it and you have the DisplayPort cable and port, then it should just work with you. So it's good news for everyone. It's always good to have open standards. That's just a thing.
Standards are fantastic. Makes life a lot easier.
Especially open source standards.
Open
source. How many times do you think we've said that word?
Open source
like
is
in the
best
last
source.
the last few.
Me and Tom just love to push it. It's really.
I mean,
it's
you
good
gotta
to
get
an
the word out,
extent.
man.
It's good to an extent.
It's not, dude. Okay, open source isn't just a license; it's a way of life. All right. So.
Right. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's becoming. I mean, as you just said, it's becoming more and more in everyone's lives and softwares they run. It is the way of the future.
Well, in the day and age of NSA surveillance, being able to potentially read every line of code that you're trying to run is pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. True.
Like you don't know what Windows is doing under the scenes. You have no idea. Linux, I know what's going on.
But Linux, yeah. Before every install, I crawl through the entire kernel
You
code,
read the kernel?
all 2 million lines of it, and I'm like, yep, it's still. This is what's changed. Now I know exactly what's happening.
Oh boy. All right. Let's see. Last week,
talking about open. What?
Not good.
OpenGL.
Oh yeah, I don't. OpenGL. Again, that's like the nice thing with OpenGL is that it's not just a Windows. It's kind of just everything. Which again, standard, which is nice. The open standard for everyone. And I mean, there are claims that that can run better than DirectX. DirectX runs better than that. And then you have isn't AMD's Mantle like something related to this as well?
I'm confused about Mantle because Mantle was first introduced to be like, oh, it's this competitor for CUDA, which is like NVIDIA's basically. So like the whole idea of DirectX is that you write a program, you make these DirectX calls, and then it interfaces with the hardware. The point of CUDA is that you can write a general purpose program, like, I want to render this video, which, I mean, still a video card, but like you could put CUDA code in there and it would like distribute the job onto all of the cores that your GPU naturally has. So it's basically just a way to write really fast code that utilizes your GPU for general purpose programs. But like, when Mantle was introduced, it seemed like it was supposed to be a competitor there, but then they were like, no, it's actually for games, but it'll just make them run better. So it's like, I don't really know where in the stack it fits, if it's like DirectX and then Mantle with it, or if it's like you use Mantle instead of DirectX, or I don't know what the point of Mantle is. to be honest.
They're just doing their own thing.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, I guess, to have your own language. If it is like CUDA, where like if just general application developers can access it, I guess it kind of makes sense. But I'm not sure.
Right on.
I haven't looked enough into it.
All right. Now the next fun topic for everyone should get into solid state drive, and AMD is now entering the solid state drive market with their own card. It actually came leaked. It was a leaked image originally, and AMD came out and confirmed that yes, this is true. We'll make an official announcement later. So we're still waiting. I don't think they have officially announced anything yet, but it came with a leaked image, and it was came from a Chinese website. Everything leaked usually is coming from there lately, especially with like all the NVIDIA cards and everything. And it was this single image, which I cannot expand because it's really tiny, but it basically shows off their new their new solid-state drives, and they're coming in 120 gigabyte, 240 gigabyte, and 480 gigabyte capacities. It's using the 19 nanometer flash lithography, and they have the read and write speeds of 550 megabit per second and 530 megabit per second, respectively. So, I mean, Tom and we both have solid-state drives, and I think it's probably the best thing I've ever purchased for my computer. So all of you should definitely get on that.
Yeah. Yeah, right, just do that.
My next upgrade.
So the weird thing with Windows 8, which this is all just my conspiracy theory noticing, not really.
All right, this is
like
gonna
Windows
be good.
8 claims to have like a much faster boot time than 7.
Yeah.
Which in my experience it does. But what they did, which I don't know how operating systems work really, but they seem to have pushed a lot of the system processes to after login. So like you'll get to log in like instantly, and then log in, and then your computer's unusably slow for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So
that sounds
that's
right.
pretty bro. That's a thing. And then like part of that is like I have like Dropbox and Drive are startup on startup, and they both like just check the whole hard drive, like what's different, and like do that right away.
Okay,
which
so
like that's part of it.
This might be a user error here.
No, like you go when I open up the task manager and it's like system stuff, so that's part of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
The error is in between the keyboard and the chair.
My brother and his fiance, or his wife now, they bought a cheap Windows 8 like all-in-one desktop.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the biggest piece of crap ever. It's like 20 minutes to boot, and then sometimes when you're using it, it just freezes and stops. You can't even like Control Alt Delete for like 45 minutes.
It's a classic Windows move.
Joyce bought, because his Dell laptop crapped out, which I mean, surprise on that one. He bought one of those like Windows 8 like Surface Pro tablets.
Yeah.
And I was playing with it the other day. I mean, like he said that the one thing is it runs really hot, like if he's watching like a video or something like that. But otherwise, like he's pretty satisfied with it. And he showed me like there's like a pen, and you click the pen, and it opens Notepad and opens up like a new document, which is not like holy shit amazing, but was pretty cool.
Like, it's convenient.
Yeah, it's a cool. Well, I think like especially like I'm kind of looking at the same thing. Like I don't really need two computers because I've got a laptop and a desktop, and he's got a desktop too. So like, I think that's just kind of a supplementary thing. And at that point, that sort of thing isn't that bad.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Yeah, I guess
but
actually,
my Windows 8, my whatever the menu is with all the apps, I literally just have the desktop. I have nothing else.
No, that's I think what a lot of people wanted. But to sort of bring it back to the solid state thing, like I know Windows 8, one of the things that they were pushing and trying to like innovate on was actually making solid state support better, because Windows 7 like solid states weren't really a thing when it was like first released, and so it was kind of like you obviously can have one, but it's like you have to do a little fine tuning around the edges just to make sure it runs as best as it possibly can. Whereas with Windows 8, presumably you could just drop a solid state in, and the OS knows how to like optimize itself for your solid state and to correctly run with it and just disable certain things. So at least there's that. But it's interesting to see AMD getting into the whole solid state market, mostly because Intel is also and has been in the solid state market for quite a while. So it's kind of just their response, I guess.
Any more competition is always good for the consumer, trying to get those prices down
That's
a little bit further. And AMD has a history of getting cheaper products out there, so maybe that can also hopefully translate into the solid state market.
That is consistently AMD's MO, is to get, like, with their processors, with their GPUs, they just, like, provide a budget solution. So let's hope that that's what they do here.
Yes, indeed. I know, Mark, you just said you were mentioning about maybe that'll be your next upgrade. Do you know how big would you get a solid state drive?
Probably not. I mean, not a huge one, but obviously enough for the OS, and then some extra space for random shit.
Well, the thing with which, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but with solid states, they have a lifetime.
Yeah,
that's the biggest problem.
Do they decay idly? Like if I had a solid state and wrote a bunch of stuff to it that put it in my closet, would the information decay, or is it just with writes?
Presumably no. Yeah, no. That wouldn't accelerate the life cycle of it if you just left it. But no,
so
actually,
it's just write speed, write.
Yeah. So I saw this article a while ago. I think it was on AnandTech, where they wrote an entire petabyte of data to 6 different solid states and basically just saw when they would fail. And obviously, the more higher end ones, like the Samsung 840 Pros or Corsair Neutron, stuff like that, they were able to completely withstand a full petabyte of data and be fine. Some of them kind of crapped out a little before. I mean, the idea is that most solid states you can write anything you'll need for quite some time, and it'll be fine.
Lifetime.
Yeah, right. For your average desktop user, you should be okay, especially if you just use it as a boot drive for your OS. If you're running a server where you're constantly writing files to it and stuff, then you might have an issue and have to hot swap them out. But for your average desktop user, I don't think you would necessarily run into the technological obsolescence before or after you would run into a physical limitation. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I'm showing the article right now. This is from the Tech Report. Basically, took it from AnandTech. The Kingston hard drives, for example, they show everything, and it seems like a lot of the hardware failures started happening around the 600 round or whatever.
Terabytes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though. You can write well over half a petabyte and still be fine for the most part. So
I mean, that's a lot of data. People don't understand. I don't even know how to put that into things. It's a lot of.
Think of 500 1 terabyte hard drives.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's probably one of the best ways to think about it. I mean, your current hard drive, if you were going to build a PC right now, you would go for 1 terabyte. So imagine 500 of those. You're pretty set.
Yeah.
I think I got a good metric, but I'll get back to that in a second.
Okay.
Sorry, got to do some deep Googling.
Continuing with the AMD topic then. AMD, they announced, or basically showed off their energy efficiency claims they want to hit. So they're aiming for a 25-fold boost in chip efficiency by 2020. So that's kind of neato. I don't know. I kind of hit on them a lot last week, just because I think the APUs and everything they should stop. But I mean, now we get the point why they exist. This is kind of this is why.
This is why I posted this article for you, Nick, was because I know you have this hatred of AMD because they have the mortal sin of going for the budget market. So the whole point of this article, the whole point of this article is that AMD's saying, we've invested, because they have invested so deeply in combining the CPU and GPUs on the same die. That's the route they've chosen now. Mm-hmm. So they have that going for them, which means their plan is to now, I was talking about earlier almost with CUDA, maybe this is where Mantle comes in, but the idea is to offload some computing tasks that would normally be done by the CPU onto a GPU, which for them is already on the same chip. So presumably, yes, it could be more energy efficient, and that would be really nice for tablets or, again, budget computers. So they definitely have. They've chosen their course. It's at this point they've invested too much to just be now we're going back to enthusiast market. They have their offerings, but if you really want an enthusiast chip, you're gonna probably go Intel. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. It's just I wish they would focus on, because I mean, the problem is when you start having AMD drop out from trying to compete with Intel's direct performance, then Intel can just kind of either slack off on what they do because they don't have a real direct competitor. I'm not saying they will. I'm saying they can, and also price. negotiation wise. They don't have a direct competitor with the direct enthusiast market. That was my concern.
Let me give you a little Econ 101 lesson here.
Okay.
Presumably, if Intel just stops making good products, people will just stop buying them.
Well, okay.
So, like, they're not in the next year. They're not just gonna be like, fuck it, let's just not make a good chip this year.
Maybe
let's just do worse. Let's see if they buy it. The fucking idiots.
You're not getting my point. The point is they're not getting the incentive.
The competition won't drive them to innovate as much as they possibly could. But
that's what I was going for.
They've already set out their roadmap. They clearly try to push it, and even with like the like Ivy Bridge, like when it came out and it was like a 10% performance increase, a lot of people were just like, "Why should I do this?" So I know a lot of people, like myself included, skipped the Ivy Bridge generation because like it just wasn't like, you're just not going to go for it. Or like Sean, Sean, I still don't know what you have. You have the Haswell, though, in your machine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, if your market's not receptive to it, they just won't buy it. I don't know. I realize that competition is good, though. I'm not trying to say, like, AMD should just completely drop out, but I think that they've each resigned themselves to the upper and lower half of the performance and that performance scale, and that's kind of okay, I think. We'll
see how it all works out in like 2 years from now and see what happens.
Well, we'll see how it all works out once Intel reaches like 10 nanometer lithography, and then they physically can't go any smaller without quantum tunneling and shit.
Then they released the quantum.
They actually have a quantum computer. They just haven't released it yet. They're waiting for the market to really be receptive. Yeah.
Receptive market.
Well, hey, maybe.
Oh, jeez.
Good dream.
Good dream. The other fallout, we mentioned a few weeks ago, I think it was just, 2 weeks ago, I think we first talked about it, about Google buying Twitch, and you can see the overlords are already starting to show their power over Twitch, because now Twitch is starting to bring down the ban hammer, not necessarily the ban hammer, it's not banning people, but the copyright infringement with copyrighted music. It will not affect live stream. So if you're doing it live, it doesn't affect what you're doing. You can stream live music, that's not the issue. The problem becomes in the recorded version, if their thing will detect recorded or like at least copyrighted licensed music, it'll mute a 30-minute segment from like the point they start hearing it till the next 30-minute mark.
30 minutes after that, yeah.
And if it keeps hearing it, it'll mute another 30 minutes and it'll just keep going. And Twitch is, that is a huge part of a lot of Twitch live streamers, is like just having music going on. And so obviously the community is pretty angry with this announcement, and so we'll see what happens with this. This is what happens when Google starts taking over things.
Well, I think, Tom, you said it yesterday where you were talking about it, how basically now Twitch is with the big boys and they have to play by the rules.
That's the same thing happened with YouTube. That's when they started getting the ban.
That's
it's definitely stupid the scale it will be taken to, because we were talking about there's nothing necessarily wrong with enforcing copyright, but somebody having a song on in the background of a video is not affecting your sales. If anything, it's positive, probably.
Right. No, I guess that's the thing. And the same thing goes for YouTube. Because it's essentially the same system as far as I can tell, where you're right, it's for the right causes, and I fully support artists, having protection over their IP, but it's when it gets overused or misused, and so like you said, when it's in the background, or if it false flags something, then you have to deal with the process of getting it unflagged, even if it's not. And for some people who make their living off Twitch, or even if it's not a living, is a decent portion of their income, and they now have to go through this whole process where they try to get it appealed. It's just a hassle for the users. So I'm not saying it's a bad idea through and through, but it definitely needs to be worked on.
Well, the other problem too is some games have in-game music. If you're doing Dance Dance, or I need the dance games or whatever.
GTA. I just watched
Grand Theft Auto, exactly.
If
Grand Theft Auto.
All of those songs are legally licensed, they're in the game, but it's would it pick up on that, and then do your streamers have to now just deal with it. Like,
I mean, it does seem that way, unfortunately.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's definitely a gray area.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a problem. I mean, you kind of have to feel bad for them a little bit, because you have to imagine they're probably getting constant, like, takedown notices from, like,
right,
a bunch of different, like, music publishers and everything. So, I mean, you can understand where it's coming from, but...
Wait, because it's definitely not, like, Google and Twitch's, like, fault. It's the patent trolls over at
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Basically, yes.
And so, like, in light of this, a new competitor has come out and is trying now to compete directly with Twitch. It's now a Hitbox.tv.
Dude, Hitbox has been out, man. That's where I watch all of my content.
And so this is like, it's really kind of coming out now. It's, I mean, a lot of streamers starting to switch to it just to try and get around this whole issue. So this could be the next Twitch.tv. It probably won't take off for a while, but we'll see. I know they're probably loving the publicity right now. Hitbox, it is in beta right now, so it's not a full-fledged platform. There's still the kinks to work out and all that. But I'm just looking at the top streams right now. I mean, the top viewer has 565 views, so it's nothing anywhere competing with Twitch in terms of viewer count and streamer count. But there are other alternatives out there, which was kind of a concern, because I mean, other than YouTube and Twitch streaming, there hasn't really been seen as like any bigger ones besides like Ustream, but that's primarily for not gaming related things. But there is a competitor now, so we got that going for them.
Maybe if we keep plugging them, they'll sponsor us.
Yeah, right.
Sponsor, tweet at us, tweet a thing up above us. If you want to sponsor this podcast, do that.
They can do.
All the links are down below too.
Yeah, click on everything. Like, favorite, comment. Really helps me out.
Finally, just touching on the kind of the more peripheral side of things, we did mention we showed off the Corsair K70 keyboard, the RGB keyboard, with the awesome backlighting and fully programmable animation. And I was freaking out, and I want it today, but it's not coming out.
If you could use a word to describe the source of the software, what word would it be?
It's open source.
There it is. There it is.
That's the other nice thing with it. The software itself is fully open source, meaning there's no limitations. Theoretically, it's just based on hardware-wise of the keyboard, but there's no limitations of what you can do with the lighting.
There's
and
no
everything.
limitations on the keyboard at all. Because it's open source, you can actually turn it into a time machine if you want. It's just a matter of the code.
I preface myself with...
I know, I'm just...
But the competitor has now come to light because Razer saw that there was an interest in this. They're like, whoa, let's make our own. And so there's the RGB, it's the Ultimate Black Widow Chroma Edition, which is basically the exact same thing in every single way for the most part. We just don't know exactly how much you can animate it, but they showed off, they have a demo video where it starts off like a slow like music and like individual keys light up to the music, and then it goes nuts. So, I mean, theoretically, you can probably program this to some extent, but it's not open source. You have to use the Razer Synapse software, but we haven't seen anything at all in terms of the software.
But the thing is, not going on too much of a rant, my computer has lights, I turn them off. My keyboard has lights, and I turn them off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's cool, but like, do you really want to be gaming and then having like a rainbow,
yes.
like
a light show? You're just like, fuck, I can't.
Like an EDM show on your desk. Like,
yeah, right.
I just want to have
how often do you look down when you're gaming?
What? It's not that I look down, but like the light is like coming up. Like, I don't know. This keyboard looks powerful as fuck.
It's actually a 10,000 candle light. What is this?
Yeah, lights by roofs. Candle roofs.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Candle power.
Yeah. Candle power. That's what it is. No, but so actually a couple things. First of all, didn't Razer already have an RGB, like a full RGB keyboard? I know the Anansi is fully RGB, but
the difference
is the only difference here that it's backlit and mechanical.
The difference is this is mechanical, and that you can program each key individually to do a different color, as opposed to the entire keyboard changing just this one solid color.
Right, right.
And then this obviously you can animate. That has a few like animations you can do.
Like, so yeah, you can definitely do more than that Anansi. That's fair. Yeah. But I mean, the reason I have no interest is because, and I know we joke about it, but it is because of the software, not because the other one's open source, but because I hate Razer software. Like, I just can't do it anymore. I mean, when I had the Mamba, the Razer mouse, for those who don't know, like they released a driver for like 6 months would just make my CPU run at 100%. Like it just did that, and that was just what I had to deal with. And then they just finally fixed it one day. Like, yeah. So like, there's that, or like now, I was telling you guys last night, like the Razer Synapse software 2.0 that I have on here to control my Naga, like it always tries to connect to the internet, even though it's in offline mode. And then when I finally let it connect to the internet, it just opens up a window and it's like, please plug in a Razer product. And so it's, and like the hardware is solid. Although just today, this mouse, the wheel click just stopped really working that well. So I don't know what that's about. But
is it from when you threw it against your wall?
No.
Okay,
I've been good to this mouse. All right. The Mamba, admittedly, I broke, but all the other products, hardware-wise, have been pretty solid. So
my brother's got his Razer keyboard actually on his desk over there, and he's got like a touchscreen, which
does he have the?
Yeah, dude.
He likes it.
Isn't that is it the Star Wars one, or like the same one as the Star Wars one, where it's like the numpad is replaced by a touchscreen, and like you can just like
it's not
do
that.
shit with it.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not a touchscreen, but there's like it's got those like programmable buttons, like those things. Like you can like this
so
is
you
my
can put your own image on. Yeah,
which like I don't know how much he's done with those. I don't know how useful they are. I hit
with
the Gmail button and I was like, how do I close it?
It's the Deathstalker Ultimate, is that keyboard?
Yeah.
Deathstalker. Oh, you're right. Yeah, it is Deathstalker. Oh wait, the box is right here.
Dude, I mean, again, like they make good hardware. It's just they can't figure out the software, and it just bothers me.
I personally have never had a problem with it. So I mean, what problems have you had that are like
he said that he had
I mean, I know that, but I mean, besides that, well, that's because you don't have a thing plugged in. So can you really? Oh, you have a mouse plugged in.
That's the point. Is that it's plugged in. It's just like, no, I couldn't find it. It's like, okay, well, thanks, bud. So yeah.
Do you know why your brother bought that keyboard? By the way, do you have any idea? Sean,
you want to play games?
Because he wanted it.
Well,
okay.
He's 14 years old, so I mean, like.
I would say that's like $250.
Well, there was also a period of time where he. No, it wasn't that much. He didn't pay. I paid a lot more for my build than he did for his. So I also have more money because I have a job and I'm an adult.
That's because he has an
I'm
i3.
a fucking adult.
I'm an adult. But no, yeah, I think he likes it. I don't know.
Okay.
There's a couple of times where he messages me like, he still thinks I know a lot about these things. So he'll ask me like, "Hey, is this a good one?" I'm like, "Probably, yeah, sure."
That i3 you got him?
Oh yeah, like that fucking debacle.
i3's not the worst thing. It's not
his graphics
good,
card's kind of screwing him now. He's got like a real shit show of a graphics card in there as well.
Because with the price of the keyboard, you probably could have invested more in something else. But
the keyboard's more important than the hardware.
That is no. Okay, this is why.
Every day?
What?
Do you touch the video card, or do you touch the keyboard every day?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not saying don't get a good
checkmate
keyboard.
internet. No, here's the thing though, and this is why these two keyboards are actually very important, because everyone knows the more lights your computer has, the faster it goes.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, these keyboards basically will improve your typing at least 15 words per minute.
Yeah.
Just as soon as you plug it in. Yeah.
Conservative
You gotta put
estimate.
that's like
your WSD.
lower. God, I forgot about those, dude.
I mean, what keyboard do you have, Mark? You have a Corsair keyboard, don't you?
No. I have the same as.
Is it Logitech?
Yeah, we got a Microsoft
Sidewinder X4.
Oh, okay.
I'm very happy with it. I
like
enjoy
it.
it thoroughly.
Gotcha.
Although, the one thing which this isn't really anything worth bitching about is the macros don't translate. Like I can't use any of the macros on Linux, like the drivers. They don't have drivers. This Microsoft keyboard doesn't have drivers for Linux.
But you know what your problem is?
Who'd have thought on that one?
You're using Linux. But.
No, see, all he needs to do is write his own because it's open source.
That's true.
So
I could
just get on that.
I could also just stick myself in the eye with a knife. So there's a lot of things I could do.
There's a lot of videos I've been watching online. Computer File, I think, is what the channel is called. It's really good.
Amazing.
I love the one guy, Tom Scott, I think is his name is. Who just like rants about things.
He's so high energy, it's like almost exhausting sometimes. But he's very knowledgeable. He's got his own channel. He's got a lot of good stuff.
Nice.
He's got some
Number File's where it's at.
Number File is also really good. Number File is probably my favorite.
Nice. I just like the ones where he rants about like coding for like certain things, like either languages or like
Coding for time
zones.
zones.
Oh, the time zones one was great. I was like laughing. I'm like,
And then the Pacific Islanders called like, oh yeah, we skipped today. Can you handle that?
oh my god, the world is just stupid. A lot of the things we do. Like the country with the country with like the quarter hour. I didn't even know that was a thing until I watched that video.
There's a couple countries with half hours.
I knew there were ones with half hour, but the quarter hour one really caught me off. Like, why is that a thing?
Well, this isn't that bad for that, but like, do you know that China's all one time zone?
Yes.
You can cross the border in China and change 3 hours.
Because my sister, when she visited China on a trip, it was like a 2-week long trip. She went from like all over the place, and she said like at some point it's like 8 a.m, like people are already at work and it's still like pitch black out because like it's still like way too early, and it's just like it's bizarre how everything like works there.
They make some interesting decisions.
At least they respect the time zone, not like, oh, it's communist time and make their own shit.
Well, it's always communist time.
Well, what does North Korea do?
It's always.
Does North Korea respect our time zone, or are they on their own accord too?
I think they have their own calendar, don't they?
It wouldn't surprise me.
I thought they did.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
I think that their dates start like when Kim Jong-il's father was born.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah. That's like the years are different, but I think the months and days might be the same.
That's just crazy to do that. They're not
well.
insane enough to change the months.
Well, why would that country ever do anything crazy, Sean?
Exactly.
Never.
Oh God.
And one thing I wasn't even gonna, I was going to mention earlier, topic that I completely forgot about until I thought about the video they released. It's a North Korean time-lapse video, and it's seriously the coolest thing I've ever seen. And it was incredibly.
That's high praise.
I mean, in terms of like a video photography type of thing, like the time-lapse it's stunning. Like it's so good with the music and everything, and it made me think about that. And I'm like, wait a minute. Microsoft just released their new software to take time lapses, and like it's called the Hyperlapse, and it's like phenomenal. And it takes the shakiness that is time lapse, and it just stabilizes it incredibly. So right now I'm running on there. It's a 10 times like time lapse video. And then here's like it'll take this video that's running right now and stabilizes it. Look at that! Oh, it's awesome. Like, that's huge. Like, I do a lot of time lapses for, like, storm chasing, like, driving and everything. And, like, just the way this looks is just awesome. And then there's the one where the guy's, like, rock climbing, and he's, like, doing the whole crazy thing. But, like, the whole smoothed down video of the rock climbing, like, you could do some, like,
they
really
even take out, like,
things.
well, that's what's kind of, like, makes it kind of eerie, is they take out, like, the human, like, bobbing of it. And it's just, like...
I mean, so you can just strap a GoPro on my face and just start running around the neighborhood, and it'll get me down.
I think you should do that, dude. Literally in front of your face. It's just a picture of you hitting things.
But
I would watch that.
It's so well done. So I'll link to that in the information below if you're watching this pre-recorded version, because it's definitely something you should probably check out. So, but that's all I have topic-wise. Anything else? Anything wants to talk about? Shit, I just closed something I shouldn't have.
Cool.
Anything else?
God, we've all
There
been
goes
there.
our G rating for the day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was long gone.
Yeah, Nick started out the video with a curse word, if I remember correctly. He blew our cover with getting that perfect intro. The good news is actually my Battlefield 4 download is at 96%, which is.
Oh, so you did get it though. That's good.
Join me, man.
So I have to because I have to see I have an Ethernet cable that's running across my room right now, and I have to give it back to my brother because I have to pack because I'm leaving the country tomorrow at noon. So.
You're the worst.
I'm looking forward to hearing your tales when you get back. So very cool. All right, well, that's all I got for this edition of the BoBCast Podcast. Thank you for watching. Again, we are Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. We'll probably change that as we enter the school year, so it'll probably change at some point. But we'll let you know. So thank you for watching, and we will see you again next time.
Peace.
Bye, viewer.
Bye, viewer.
Bye.
The one of them.
We should learn to speak. Wait, where do they